You mentioned MJ before, sir. For the kids in the back, that's Michael Jordan you're referring to in terms of superstar status, right? That's how you're referring to Ellie De La Cruz in terms of level of interest, but Jordan's different. What was Michael like when he first walked into the clubhouse, when you were the skipper for him in the minor leagues, Terry?
I would have a hard time ever finding something negative to say about him. I mean, I remember it was kind of fashionable at the time to get on him about playing baseball. And, the first thing I mentioned to him when we got to Birmingham was, hey, these guys have worked really hard just to get to the AA level. This is the amount of money they're making or not making. And, what we're doing, you got to respect the game of baseball. And my goodness, I don't know if I've ever been around somebody that respected the game more. It made it easy to be patient with him baseball-wise because you had to, because he hadn't played. But he worked hard. He was knowledgeable. He was coachable. And you know what? It shouldn't be surprising because I don't think you can be that good in another sport without having those traits and characteristics.
Is there anything off-field that he did that you can share where you were beyond impressed? You're like, wow, that is something I didn't expect from Michael Jordan. I didn't see that one coming. Anything like that, Terry?
I think once I got to know him, I saw everything coming. Like, it's hard to do anything with him or, against him where you're not competing. I mean, whether it's ping pong, tennis, golf, certainly, Yahtzee, it didn't matter. And he didn't like to lose. And that's like all the stories you've heard. They're true.
Yeah, all of those stories, like on the bus and stuff like that. That's what you're saying, pretty much?
Yeah, I found out. It took me a while because, in the Southern League back in the day, there were some long bus rides.
Right.
And they weren't sleeper buses. It was sometimes 2 to a seat, and they were long. And I'd look at him, and he seemed so content. And it took me a while to figure out that was probably the first time in years where nobody could get at him and he could actually relax and either listen to music or read a book or play cards, and nobody could get at him. And he really enjoyed it.
I love that, man. And last one for you on this one. What was he naturally great at, and what was he working on that if he somehow, some way, by the grace of the sports gods, decided to just stick with baseball, do you think he would have been great at, Terry?
Well, even early on, before he played a lot, I mean, he stole 30 bases, in the Southern League. He drove in 50. He was so long levered that he was always working on trying to keep his swing short. And he, when he went to the Fall League, he was drastically improved. I don't think it's fair to talk about any prospect till they get about 1,000 at bats. But I'll tell you what, Rich, and I found out sometimes the hard way. You tell him no, and he's going to find a way to make the answer be yes. And I believe that in baseball, too.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.